Alright, test fit. We test fitted on the last video. Get this lined up. It's always going to be better in one direction than the other. It looks like it's pretty good in both directions. Why is it important to line these up? Well, just in case you're going to use it as a projectile. It's good to have it lined up. This one is fatter on that side, so it's best to put the fatter one with the shorter little piece sticking out there. Okay, more bulgy there, shorter there, as long as it's lining up straight. All right, so I'm going to use some hemp cordage. What am I sitting on, you background detectives? It's a child's chair. It's only about, I don't know, 8 inches off the ground. That allows me to work down here on my tarp. I can use the whole tarp as a table without having a table. And this stump, it's a little bitty one. Okay. Come on, I'm messing with this. I tied this cordage off. I don't know why I don't just cut it. It's because I don't care if I go over my time limit. Alright, so this is what I do. First step is to tie just below the notch. Or wrap just below the notch. You'll see why in a minute. This is a temporary thing. You'll see why it's temporary in a minute. Okay, good enough. I don't need to cut it or anything. Stick that in there. Okay, do a little test run. Line it up. Drive it in. Nice and firm. Does everything look okay? Yep, still a little gap at the bottom, but that can be filled with glue. Everything looks okay. If we need to shave this down, maybe shave that down a little bit. But everything's okay. I'm on the back side, I'm not on the front side. I was just doing this and I caught my fingers under here. It's misaligned a little bit. Okay, everything good? I don't want to ruin my cordage. This particular cordage, let's say I'm pretending I'm back in the day. This is my prized cordage. Very strong, very thin. I don't want to cut it or waste it. I use it over and over again. So what I'm doing, I'm testing out this fit. Okay, now next step, once I'm satisfied with it, I'm not totally satisfied with it because it's not quite there yet. It's still a little bit too high on that side. This misaligned a little bit, so let me take this out. Alright, so what that does, when you drive this in, the top here, wedge shaped, it puts pressure all the way down here. Okay, it opens this up, closes this side down. The next step would be for me to wrap this end here. Okay, either wrap it all the way up, or if I'm going to half this, wrap it from here to there, from there to there. That's the next step. First step is this wrap, temporary. Next is that, it's permanent wrap with glue and all that. But right now, I can shave it down and make it nice and pretty with a stone tool that has a good edge. Scrape it down. This is not a wrapping video. This is just the woodworking video. Okay? This doesn't need to be pretty. I know I said you can keep the handle longer than the blade. This can be as pretty as you want, or just crude like this. If you like a rough handle with just minimal work done to it, you can keep it like this. You can, I got some quartzite over there. I don't want to walk over there, but quartzite is good for smoothing this down. Anyway, what I'll do is, instead of showing you or trying to show you from this view how I make this beautifully smooth and tapered and all that on another video close up like I do my napping videos. Okay, so that we got this step done, then I would wrap this part, then I would wrap this part, put some glue here, take this out, you know, fit it back in with some glue while it's hot, you know, do this on the fire, warm everything up, put some glue in there, not too much. Most of your glue is going to go in all these gaps, right down in here, across the top, around in here. Okay, that's where most of your glue is going, not in the joint itself between the wood and the stone. It's going to go to fill these gaps. Okay, the next step would be to wrap this upper part down to where this temporary wrapping is. Take the temporary wrapping off and then wrap it the rest of the way permanently. So 1, 2, 3, 4 different wraps. Same with an arrow foreshaft that's split. I'll show you in a different video how to do this with a U-notch that's broken out, but I need to practice more on that. It's more difficult. Can you carve it by just doing this thing? Yeah, especially on arrow foreshafts. That's the easiest. Just get the right angle and saw it. Don't saw it like this, because it jumps out and hits your hand. Okay? Do it like this. Get a piece of stone. You can bury it in the ground or whatever. Sometimes you can find a log with a big enough split. Put the stone in there and you drag it across this way like that. Hold it high enough to where it's safe, so if you miss, you can catch yourself. But it's much easier to drag it across like this. You can even use both hands. Drag it across the stone that way. What else can I say? You put glue in here in this joint, you can, but I don't see any reason to. I think Utzi's knife is this way too, with a split, and the birch tar up here in the joint for sure, but I don't know if you put birch tar all the way down. I think his is split this way. I gotta look again. It might only be the V-notch. How do you create the V-notch without splitting? Well, it's difficult because you have to use a cutting tool and slowly whittle it away with a deep notch. I've tried it before. It takes a long time. I don't know an efficient way other than fashioning a knife with a flake and shaving it out like a carving knife would do it. But I've got to work on that technique. This is the simplest, fastest, easiest, and I think the most common way to haft a point with a thick stem. It doesn't have to be contracting, it just needs to be thick and wedge shaped. All right. Okay.